Hey everyone, so Fortnite just released an update stating that there are going to be two new maps for ballistics mode as well as a new weapon and gadget. So let's take a look at what's coming.
Welcome to the first Test Grounds update,
Sweet.
where we give you early access to new maps and
Nice.
items.
Let's go.
Introducing Shell Maps.
Shell
These are
maps.
unfinished maps where your feedback will help us develop the play space and match flow.
What?
First up,
That's cool.
Hammerfall, featuring iconic
Hammerfall.
landmarks, tight spaces, and long alleyways.
Interesting, interesting.
This map will push your gunplay skills to the limit.
Damn. This looks intense.
Next is Storm Chaser.
Storm
Chaser
Cove.
is a traversal playground, meaning the sky is the limit for
Oh,
utilities.
sweet.
Now let's talk about the new gear
New items,
coming to
let's
this
go.
update. The Sovereign is a lightweight sniper rifle
Another sniper?
built for mobility and speed. With a cheaper cost, this will provide you with a strong long-range weapon in those earlier rounds.
What?
And finally, Overdrive will boost your move,
Overdrive.
reload, and weapon swap speeds.
Oh,
Also,
nuts.
you can get the upper hand. This is just the
Crazy.
beginning. With your feedback, we can shape the future
Feedback?
of Ballistic.
Damn, there's so much to go over in that video, so let's just get right into it. So first off, there's two new maps, Hammerfall and Storm Chaser Cove, actually called shell maps, and they show here on the side, as you can see, that they can actually redesign and change everything based on our feedback. So depending on where the spawns are, where certain items are, that like they're showing the helicopter they're placing, depending on different areas and how it feels, we can actually give feedback and be like, look, this box is not good, or add a box here or whatnot. So that's quite interesting that they're going to be going off of our feedback on actually developing the maps. Like at this point, you guys should just hire some of us to create the maps or test this game. So the first map is called Hammerfall, and it's like a castle. It kind of reminds me of Polar Peak back in Season 7, which was one of my favorite maps. But yeah, you can see it's a shell map. Everything's just basic, so they can quickly change and adapt to it. Looks actually really good so far. Sniper to the dome, and yeah, I'm really excited for this. And it looks like, as you can see here, that they have gates now that go up and down. I'm wondering how that. Oh, so there's a switch there on the wall. So I guess you could trigger it and it releases it up or down depending on how you're playing. That's gonna be really interesting how that's gonna work in different situations and strategies for gameplay. Having these levers that can release the doors up and down. Next map is called Storm Chaser Cove, and this one's quite interesting as well. As you can see, there's barely any like aesthetics to it. It's just like basic because they're still developing this. It's actually pretty cool to be part of the, their creator aspect of developing. Looks like there's gonna be a lot of walls that you can impulse over, and like as you can see, that auto shotty since the new update is absolutely insane. I don't know. Like, let me know. Do you guys like the new shotgun buffs, or do you think they should nerf them a little? I think they're a little overpowered, but it's gonna like you have to adapt to the different game style and play. They didn't really show much on the Storm Chaser Cove or the Hammerfall map, but I did find this on Twitter and it shows Test Grounds Hammerfall. It's definitely castle themed and it's the new shell map, and they kind of show a little mini map here on the bottom of where you can go and the routes you can take to go to B or A. And it almost looks like the defense now is super close to the bomb plants, where the attacker side really has to go through a lot just to go plant the bomb. So are they increasing the rounds, like the time in the round? Is it going to be the same? Is it going to be like, it just, I don't know how that's going to work. If like you're on defense and you literally walk 30 feet and you're in the defense side, and if you're holding a site and then they have to go through, or are they expecting people to defend, to not sit site and push up and then kind of rat out and wait for the attackers to go through and catch them off guard? So definitely going to be different game styles in this map. It looks like there's this long stretch here on the side. Don't know what that's for. I'm wondering if you can even access that, but it's quite interesting how this layout looks for Hammerfall. Honestly, Hammerfall almost seems like a really big map for attack and defense, but we'll have to wait and see how that goes, depending on the time frame they give you to in the game. The next one is Storm Chaser Cove, and as you can see here, they have a little mini map, attacker side going up, almost kind of like it's just like you can't. I don't know if you can go mid. It almost looks like you can only go left and right. Defense B and A. It looks a little bit smaller. Looks a little bit more like what it should be based on like the first map that they released. And yeah, it's gonna be quite interesting to see how the layout is, how people are gonna name things because like we all know in the first map so far, everybody knows like heaven, hell, top drywall, B1, B2, left AC, right AC, B long, B main, A ramp, all those different codes and the names for everything. Everyone just you can just use and pick up Corey, Concourse, stuff like that. So it's gonna be interesting to see the names that come out with these two different maps and what other people call it compared to like others, and eventually to see as the community adapts the actual terms that we'll be using in the game. So yeah, these are the two maps that they're releasing tomorrow, April 8th. Those are the different little blueprints for them. Quite interesting. Very excited for this. And we'll go over the two, I mean, I guess the new weapon and the new gadget. I mean, we already went over the fire grenade gadget and the burst rifle weapon, but there's another weapon and new gadgets, so let's look at that. So they have the Sovereign Sniper Rifle, which is really interesting that they already have a sniper, now they're coming out with this one. They're saying that it's lightweight, so you can actually slide and have quicker mobility than the other sniper. It says that it has lower credits to buy, so you can buy it in the early rounds instead of having to save up. But my question is it obviously going to be it's obviously going to be a one tap headshot, but what's the body shot going to be? So that's going to be a game changer in itself. The Sovereign Sniper Rifle, insta headshot, yeah, but body shot, is it going to be 150 just like the other one? I don't think so. Maybe 75, maybe 50. I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see. Quite interesting how they came up with another sniper. It's definitely going to change the gameplay and how people are going to play the early rounds, just like how they buffed the shotgun. Now everyone's running shotguns in the early rounds, even in some of the late rounds. If you miss your striker or your enemy headshot on somebody and they got auto and they just swing the corner and you miss that headshot, they just like double pump you or one pump you. It's crazy. Then the new gadget, I believe this is a gadget. It's called the Overdrive Utility, aka Nitro. So this will definitely be a game changer gadget because listen to this.
Boost your move, reload, and weapon swap speeds.
So it'll boost your movement, your reload, and your weapon swap
So you
speeds.
can get the upper hand.
That's
This is
crazy.
just
So if you can reload so much quicker, swap your weapons, and run so much quicker, that's gonna definitely be a game changer. Like as you can see, this person takes this overdrive gadget and then they run past their two teammates and just get in there and start bursting everyone. That's really cool. And also I noticed there's another door here that's actually lowering and there is a switch on the wall. So I guess now they're implementing areas where you can actually hit a switch and it's going to raise a door or lower the door. So that could make or break rounds really quickly as well. You can see here it goes down in the background, just slides in there and bursts the enemy with that Tommy pistol combo. And now they're saying that they want our feedback. We've been giving our feedback on tons of different things. Sometimes they listen, sometimes they don't. Like I said before previously, is that the 12-hour reset ban needs to be fixed. That should have been fixed day one if they want people to keep playing. I know a lot of people get that 12-hour ban, then the next day they're on, second game, they crash again, another 12-hour ban. They're just, okay, they're over it. They're just going to go back to BR, some other game, or they're just going to not play anymore. I know I've had it happen a few times. It's super frustrating. But let's see what it states here. We want your feedback. Which of the following features do you like in Fortnite Ballistic? Select as many as you apply. It says sprinting, inventory management, how Epic communicates with players. That should be a huge one. As a creator myself, I don't get any communication with Epic. I would love to, get more feedback and help them out. Let's see here, or even like work together on things. It states here multiple rounds per match. That's a good one. I like the multiple rounds per match. You can win a couple. You got to lock in. Depends how you get a feel for the enemy. It says playing user generated games. Is that like that we create games and playing those instead? I don't know. Match length. I feel the matches right now are good at length. Makes it a little bit more fast paced and competitive. But the thing is it depends on how big those new maps are going to be. Um, the HUD and UI is perfect, I think, right now. Flex gadgets. I love the flex gadgets, but it just depends. I like that they updated it so the bubble can burst now. That's definitely also a game changer. Going to make it a little bit more interesting, which it has. Earning credits. Earning credits I find is fine. They just keep playing around with the amounts. So Striker and Emmy were 2,500, and then they upped it to 27. So then you couldn't just keep buying ARs. It just, you just have to adapt to the gameplay and little fine tweaks and like that. It just makes the game a little bit more interesting and more competitive. So I do appreciate that because this game mode is definitely competitive, and I really hope that they start to come out with tournaments in this game mode. I think everybody in the Fortnite Ballistics community can agree that we need tournaments, we need competitions. I know there's a lot of discords right now that have private tournaments going on every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, even a couple during the midweek, and us users are donating in those to actually create a prize pool. So it'd be really cool to see Fortnite actually do that for the community as well and show us some love. I know they're already doing all these updates, so it goes to show you that they're actually taking it seriously now. They just need to really fine tune and fix a lot of the bugs, the glitches, and especially that 12-hour ban. Like that, that should have been day one. And for the Tommy gun, this is a little, my personal opinion on it, is it costs way too much, and sometimes it's really OP, and then other times it's not good at all, and that's why you barely see anybody using it. Another thing that I stated since day one is it'd be really cool instead of a pistol and your weapon and gadget is if you had like a knife that you could go around with or like a pickaxe. Come on, Fortnite, you should have a pickaxe option where you can run around with that, and if you hit somebody, it does like 25 damage. It'd be like a humiliation aspect to this game, which is really cool. Having to try to pickaxe somebody or finish them with that, I think that would be a really cool feature. I'm sure a lot of you would agree. I do have lots of other feedback and stuff like that, but I've done video game testing before, and they usually pay you. We're testing their game for free, so I'm kind of iffy on that, but we do want it to develop and become what we want it to become. But yeah, I'm gonna just have to wait till this new update, see how these maps are, see how the new weapons are, test them, and let you know how I feel. You guys can let me know how you feel about them. But so far, this is what they're coming out with: new shell maps, new arsenal. They want our feedback, and based on that, they'll be designing and changing things. So this is really cool. We got the two new maps, Hammerfall, and we're also getting that other one, Storm Chaser Cove. We're getting the sniper rifle, so over in sniper rifle, we're getting the burst rifle, the fire grenade, and the overdrive utility. And at this point, I'm pretty sure a lot of you would agree they're going to be changing the maps based on our feedback. And at this point, I think a lot of people would be pretty, think it would be pretty rad if we could even design and build our own maps for Ballistic. But I think that would fall more under creative. As a competitive side, I think Fortnite should stick with doing it themselves, but it's not that hard. Once you figure out the programs and stuff, it's pretty easy. So yeah, I'm super excited to see how these two new maps are. Excited to see how the weapons are going to be in the gadgets. We'll see how things go. If people are still going to be the top tier in the servers, or how people are going to adapt and how the player base is going to grow, or stay at where it is. I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see. Super excited, super stoked, and I will catch you on when the update happens. So yeah, that was me checking out this new update, and we'll be checking out the actual gameplay of it probably in the next day when it's up. Yeah, you guys can check out my videos or come check me out on Twitch live. You can type in Red Eye Ginger, it should pop up, but if not, it's actually my name, Chad Sinclair. I'm sure it wouldn't be hard for you to find. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Are you all excited for the new maps? I know I am. Just depends, like I said, on the layout and how big things are. I'm excited to see how everyone's going to react to it, the new weapons, the new gadgets. Let me know in the comments below. What are you most excited for in this new update happening? Also, can you do me a huge favor? Like this video and click that subscribe button for more. And if you can, help me out. Use my code RedEyeGinger in the item shop. I'd really appreciate it. It doesn't cost you anything. It's free. You just put it down there, and if you buy stuff, you buy stuff, and you just use my code, and it helps me out. So thank you. So thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you on the ballistics battlefield. Peace out.